shockingly a setback to the president's agenda and a shockingly cowardly decision from the High Court.
Yo, Megyn, she's pissed. She's pissed.
We knew it was going to happen.
She's incensed.
But we didn't know exactly.
She's infuriated.
A setback to
She's
the president's
furious.
agenda and a
She's
shockingly
livid. She is
cowardly
livid.
decision from the High Court on birthright citizenship. A setback to the president's agenda and a shockingly cowardly
DJT.
decision from the High Court on birthright citizenship. And we knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know exactly how they'd get there. And there was always at least the hope, you know, the possibility that they would do the right thing. I mean, what's essentially happened now is that anybody from China can come over here, have a baby, and that baby will be an American no matter what. They can leave the day after the child is born, the minute after the child is born.
The second.
And honestly, there was a real question. I, like many people, when I first saw this, the challenge to this, it was long before President Trump's executive order. It was written by a legal scholar, and you know, saying this is not what the founders intended. I too thought, wait,
it wasn't the original purpose.
How we all grew up thinking that if you're born here, you're a citizen, and that's kind of the
just
end
solely.
of it. If you actually look at the history,
J-U-S space S-O-L-I, the Latin
here in the United States, and then what happened after the legal scholar, and you know, saying this is not what the founders intended. I too thought, what do you mean that this is sort of how we all grew up, thinking that if you're born
back
here,
in the day,
you're a citizen, and that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah, a lot of us thought this. Yeah,
of that practice here in the United States, and then what happened after the 14th Amendment was passed, you see that's wrong. You find out that that's actually not the way
the original
the 14th Amendment was
treated,
the way the founders understood this country
back
would
in the
operate.
day.
And
in the 1800s,
there was plenty of basis
after the
to strike down
Civil War.
Birthright tourism.
The Civil War happened in 1865.
Based on the particular phrasing of
the blacks who were on the plantations, who were under the control of slave masters on the cotton fields, they were freed in 18.
Birthright tourism.
They were liberated
based on the particular phrasing of the 14th Amendment, right? You have to be born here and subject to the jurisdiction. And there was plenty of basis to strike down birthright tourism. You find out that that's actually not the way the 14th Amendment was treated, the way the founders understood this country would operate, and there was plenty of basis to strike down birthright tourism based on the particular
validity
of the 14th Amendment.
The pro-striking down of this,
to the
for sure.
Of the United
There's
States.
logical arguments.
That is why President Trump
issued this
executive order purporting to
against
end
the strike
citizenship in the United States, aimed especially at the children of illegal
there's logical
immigrants.
arguments.
Now, he did say that if you're already here and you've been the beneficiary of
on
this,
the oppositional
he wasn't
side,
trying to create chaos for those who had already taken advantage of what they believed. President Trump issued this executive order purporting to end birthright citizenship in the United States.
There are logical
especially
arguments.
at the children of illegal immigrants. Now, he did say that if you're already here
on the opposite
and you've
side
been the beneficiary of this, you can stay. He wasn't trying to create chaos for the. Is why President Trump issued this executive order purporting to end birthright citizenship in the United States, aimed especially at the children of illegal immigrants. Now, he did say that if you're already here and you've been the beneficiary of this, you can stay. He wasn't trying to create. Is why President Trump issued this executive order purport the way the founders understood this country would operate, and there was plenty of basis to strike down birthright tourism based on the particular phrasing of the 14th Amendment.
There are flaws too on both sides.
And subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. And that is why President Trump issued this executive order purporting to end birthright citizenship in the United States, aimed especially at the children of illegal immigrants. Now, he did say that if you're already here and you've been the beneficiary of this, you can stay. He wasn't trying to create chaos for those who had already taken advantage of what they believed the 14th Amendment provided, but he was saying on a go-forward basis, and now that's been overturned. Now his executive order is no good.
Yep.
And he can't
There's
write
nothing
another
he
one.
can do.
They didn't give him a clear roadmap on how it could be done either. 5 justices found that the EO violated the 14th Amendment. Chief Justice Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, and the 3 libs on the
Kagan,
court.
Sotomayor,
the Chief Justice writing in his majority
and
opinion, quote,
Jackson,
citizenship
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
The right
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Create chaos for those who had already taken advantage of what they believed the 14th Amendment provided, but he was saying on a go-forward basis, and now that's been overturned. Now his executive order is no good, and he can't write another one. They didn't give him a clear roadmap on how it could be done either. 5 justices found that the EO
2 conservatives,
violated the 14th
3
Amendment.
libs.
Chief Justice Roberts Amy
Roberts
Coney Barrett,
is a conservative
and
justice.
the 3 libs on the court.
ACB is a
The
conservative
Chief Justice writing in his
justice.
majority opinion, quote,
The other 3
citizenship
are
then and
libs.
now was the right to have rights, to freely participate in our political community. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every free-born person in this land. We keep that promise today. Of course, they were talking about freed slaves.
The blacks
That's why it sounds
who
so
were
weird,
enslaved.
free-born person in this land.
the
Okay.
newly freed slaves.
Justice Kavanaugh got in there as well, for good measure. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every free-born person in this land. We keep that promise today. Of course, they were talking about freed slaves. That's why it sounds so weird, free-born person in this land. Okay. Justice Kavanaugh got in there
Brett,
as well,
BK.
for good measure. They didn't need him because they had Barrett and they had
He's
Roberts
also
with the 3
a
libs,
conservative.
but he
BK.
decided to join in just
BK
to say
is also
that Trump's
a
executive
conservative
order,
justice.
he thought had to be struck down because he thought it violated a federal statute, one that he said could be amended by Congress. So he's trying to show a roadmap, but it doesn't matter. If you've got Coney Barrett and you've got Roberts and you've got the 3 libs together, forget Kavanaugh. His "we can do this by congressional amendment" idea will not fly. They did not think that it was consistent with the Constitution, with the 14th Amendment, for Trump to issue an executive order like this. So as much as I'd love to look at that Kavanaugh line and say, okay, there's a way of doing this, there isn't. Not as far as I read this, a long opinion. We'll have to go through it in more detail later. The 3 conservatives, of course, the true conservatives on the court are Thomas and Alito. Gorsuch has betrayed us before. I'm not going to lie, I like him.
Neil Gorsuch.
But he issued Bostock. He authored Bostock, which is the one that said the trans
Bostock, if my memory of the spelling is correct.
Oh, as much as I'd love to look at that Kavanaugh line and say, okay, there's a way of doing this, there isn't. Not as far as I read this, a long opinion. We'll have to go through it in more detail later. The 3 conservatives, of course, the true conservatives on the court are Thomas and Alito. Gorsuch has
Clarence
betrayed us
Thomas
before.
and Sam Alito, she's referring to.
Consistent with the Constitution, with
conservative
the
justices.
14th Amendment, for Trump to issue an executive order like this. So as much as I'd love to look at that
conservative
Kavanaugh line and say,
justices.
okay, there's a way of doing this, there isn't.
Clarence Thomas and Sam
Not as far as I
Alito.
read this, a long opinion.
Sam Alito, Alito.
The 3 conservatives, of course, the true conservatives on the court are Thomas and Alito. Gorsuch has betrayed us before.
Neil
I'm not gonna lie, I
Gorsuch,
like him, though.
Gorsuch.
But he issued Bostock. He authored Bostock.
Gorsuch.
The trans citizens have rights under Title VII, and they can't be hired. They can't be not hired or fired.
It is true. He's spitting. He's cooking.
I get it. Like I can
it is
see
true
the
though.
argument, but
It is the truth. You can't dispute the truth. You can
trans.
disagree,
I
but
get it.
it is
Like
the truth.
I can see the argument,
It is
but
the
let's
truth.
face it, it's a mental illness, and you can.
Yeah, Megyn Kelly, here we go.
But he issued Bostock. He authored Bostock, which is the one that said the trans citizens have rights under Title VII, and they can't be hired. They can't be not hired or fired.
Words. It's would be discrimination.
Trans.
If you
I get it.
fire somebody because he or she, because the person is trans, It would be discrimination. You're not. It isn't. You're not getting rid of this person based for merit reasons or effort reasons or integrity reasons or behavior reasons. It is because of their orientation. Nah, that is crazy. That is goofy. That is goofy. That is crazy. That is sucker-ish all the way. Indubitably
will not fly.
Disgraceful.
They did not think that it was consistent
unlaudable
with the Constitution, with the
odious garbage
for Trump to issue an executive order like this. So as much as I'd love to look at that Kavanaugh line and say, okay, there's a way of doing this.
It doesn't matter if a person is trans or not. Can the person do the job? Is the person skillful, qualified?
Of course, the true.
Is the person able to get things done? If the answer is yes,
I'm not going to lie, I like him.
The transness doesn't matter. It is irrelevant.
Which is the one that
all the way.
The trans citizens have rights.
What is up with Megyn, bro? I thought she was pro meritocracy, bro. Anti boosts, anti DEI, anti
idea will not fly. They did not think that it was consistent with
it doesn't
the
seem
Constitution.
that way. In this case, it is. There is inconsistency, Megyn Kelly. There is inconsistency.
Will not fly.
There is inconsistency and hypocrisy. Crazy.
14th Amendment
there is hypocrisy. It is nuts.
So as much as I'd love to look at that Kavanaugh line and say, okay, there's a way of doing this, there isn't.
She's bugging.
You've got Coney, Barrett, you've got Roberts, and you've got the three libs together. Forget Kavanaugh.
Hold on.
That the trans citizens have rights under Title VII, and they can't be hired. They can't be not hired or fired on the basis of their being trans.
Gorsuch
I get it. Like I can see the argument, but let's face it.
He's a conservative justice.
And you can say
it isn't a mental illness, bro. Yeah, I get it. I get what she's saying. Yeah, a lot of them are very programmed, very delusional, very woke, very brainwashed. Yes. Bro, there's so much pollution, so much contamination, so much dirt, weirdness, weird, wild-ish. So much wild-ish, was ingrained into the minds of many trans people. But to say it is a mental illness, to say they're mentally ill with no evidence, no real evidence to prove that it is a mental illness is crazy all the way. It is dismissive, it is unfair, it is untrue, it is unfounded. Yeah, you can disagree with how they live. I disagree with the way they live, with their lifestyles, with their mentalities, their ideology. I really do disagree with their ideology, but you won't hear me saying they are mentally ill. I've never labeled them mentally ill because it is dismissive. I've never labeled these people mentally ill because it is dismissive. It is unfair. It is unfounded. There's no basis in reality. You are only calling them that because you disagree with them and how they live and their ideology. It is goofy. It is goofy. It is what it is.
That the trans citizens have rights under Title VII, and they can't be.
But I get it. I get what she's saying.
Fired on the basis of their being trans.
But she has to chill with this, bro. She gotta chill with this mentally ill label, bro.
And you can say
she has to chill. She must chill with the mental illness label, the mentally ill label.
The trans.
She's bugging.
Have rights under Title VII, and they can't be hired. They can't be not.
You can't
hired
discriminate against these people.
They're being trans.
Just because they
I can see the argument, but
are trans people.
It's a mental illness, and you can.
If they are skillful, then it doesn't matter.
But he issued Bostock.
If they are qualified, it doesn't matter.
citizens have rights
This
under
is
Title
so
VII, and they can't be hired, they can't
ridiculous.
be not hired or fired on the basis of their being trans.
So absurd.
I get
The
it.
absurdity
Like, I
of
see
this
the
is
argument,
crazy.
but let's face it, it's a mental illness.
The
I mean,
absurdity of this
say
is heavy.
you're too unwell to work here. Honestly, like Goldman Sachs now has to hire somebody who looks like Scott Wiener, who wants to show up like that with his weird little tie against his naked torso and probably nipple rings. I don't like why.
I get it, but yeah, she's tripping. She's yeah. Yeah, Scott, he's a weirdo. Scott, he's very pro LGBTQ plus. He's very he's
dissented.
He's a bozo. He's a weirdo, but
like Scott Wiener who wants to show up like that with his weird little tie against his naked torso and probably nipple rings. I don't like why. Okay, anyway.
She got it.
Thomas, Gorsuch, and Alito who dissented on birthright citizenship. Yeah. They were entirely persuaded by the administration, and they raised several concerns about the majority opinion, with Alito bringing up national security implications. Hello, this is 2026 America. People are misusing this provision. And
I get it, but is everybody abusing it? Is everybody doing this? This is a real question, a fair question. Is everybody misusing this? Is everybody misusing this? Certain people are, yes, but are all of them misusing it? No. So we can't make monolithic remarks. We can't make umbrella remarks. It is unfair. But yes, a lot of people do misuse it. Yeah, there should be concern. Bro, there should be worry. But to have an unhealthy level of worry, an unhealthy level of worry, to have an unhealthy level of concern is destructive. Is problematic. To have an unhealthy level of concern is problematic. So we have to be logical. But yes, we see OUI-SI with the accent mark in Spanish, or SI with the accent mark in Spanish, OUI in French. They both mean yes. Yes, we see many people. Yes, we see many people do misuse this. Yes, we see many people do abuse this. Many people do misuse this, but to lump all in the same bucket as if they're all terrible is all the way garbage, all the way rubbish, all the way goofy, all the way terrible.
Legal ramifications of reading it the way these majority of justices did. And the legal ramifications of reading it the way these majority of justices did. The Alito writing, quote, "Suppose that a person's only connection to this country is that he was born here to a mother who was present just long the administration." And they raised several concerns about the majority opinion, with Alito bringing up national security implications. Hello, this is 2026 America. People are misusing this provision and the legal ramifications of reading it the way these majority of justices did. The Alito writing, quote,
"It is understandable, but we can't make monolithic remarks. It is understandable, but it is indubitably understandable, but we can't make monolithic remarks. It is indubitably understandable, but we can't make monolithic remarks."
Alito writing, quote, "Suppose that a person's only connection to this country is that he was born here to a mother who was present just long enough to give birth and then quickly returned to her native country. Suppose that country is a strategic adversary or enemy of the United States.
Possible, yeah.
Suppose the child never visited the United States while growing up and was inculcated with hatred of this country.
This is possible,
According
yes.
to the court, that person is a citizen of the United States. Plus, a bizarre circumstance happening right after the rulings came down with NPR via Nina Totenberg, who, I'm sorry, but is the most holier-than-thou, stuck-up snob at NPR, who covered the High Court for them for years, including when I covered it for Fox News. And you would think, I was new, whatever, but unlike Nina Totenberg, I had practiced law for 10 years, so I knew what I was doing around a courthouse, and I understood the law. But she treated me and anybody else, Savannah Guthrie was there when I was there too, as like we were dirt on the bottom of her shoe.
That's crazy.
Because she thought she was all that in a biscuit. She was NPR Supreme Court correspondent. Again, like,
condescending.
Get back to me when you've actually made an argument on your feet in front of judges, Nina. Because Nina, while she is technically retired from that position, decided to blast out a report, NPR did, with her name on it, her byline, that Justice Alito was stepping down. That Justice Alito was retiring. And by the way, the headline was, Justice Alito, the justice who brought us the reversal of Roe versus Wade, is stepping down. Of course, NPR had to get its bias in, even on its now erroneous and retracted report. Within 10 minutes, NPR had to take it down.
Nuts.
I spoke with my sources immediately upon seeing it.
Trash.
Who said they were being told something very different by the justice. And
to
the
push
Supreme
this
Court
with no evidence is crazy.
On the record,
to
which
push
is
the
very rare for
narrative
them.
that he was
and
retiring
minutes, she had to take it down.
with no evidence.
I mean, this is just completely embarrassing. This is humiliating. You do not jump the gun on a Supreme Court retirement. Ever. Ever.
To push the narrative that he was retiring with no evidence is crazy.
Something very different by the justice. And the Supreme Court denied it almost immediately on the record, which is very rare for them. And within 10 minutes, she had to take it down. I mean, this is just completely embarrassing. This is humiliating. You do not jump the gun on a Supreme Court retirement. Ever. Ever. It's like saying the Pope is dead when he's not. Thanks for watching this.
Tough. That's tough. Yeah. This is nuts, bro. Yeah, that, bro.
Most of them will not.
Yeah, you have. Many MAGA pundits are calling Roberts and Alito, not Alito, ACB, traitors, turncoats, fake Republicans, fake conservatives, libs, Democrats. Yeah, it is crazy, bro. Yeah, certain MAGA men are saying truly misogynistic things pertinent to ACB, to women justices. Yeah, it is nuts. To engage in low vibrational ish is all the way terrible, bro. It is all the way terrible, bro. Yeah, it is nuts. Yeah, it is crazy that certain MAGA people say Roberts is a turncoat when he has aligned with Trump for the most part. He agreed with Trump for the most part. Same with ACB. They deviated in certain situations. But the MAGA cultists, they demand complete servility, complete obedience, complete obeisance, complete finery, complete simpery, complete simpery, complete finery, complete agreement. Yeah, it is cringy, it is corny, it is lame, it is unrighteous, it is all of these things, bro. It is hateable, it is detestable, despicable. Yeah, bro. Yeah. ACB, you have lefties too. You have lefties who speculate that ACB ACB was in favor of the birth, or ACB came to the birthright conclusion because she adopted Haitian kids, black Haitian kids. There's no evidence to prove this to be true. There's no proof to substantiate this claim. That people are just saying stuff, bro. This is all the way unfounded, all the way baseless, all the way groundless. She didn't do this because she adopted black Haitian kids. The reason she came to the conclusion was not because she adopted black Haitian kids. They had no relevance to this decision. There was no relevance. The adoption of these kids has no relevance to her decision, bro. She was adhering to principle. She was adhering to she was adhering to the text of the 14th Amendment in the Constitution. These are the things she was adhering to. Principle. She was adhering to the text in the 14th Amendment in the Constitution and to principle. These are the things she was adhering to. Not the black Haitian kids she adopted. No, there wasn't bias in this decision. There wasn't partiality. There was no partialism. There was no bias to the Republican Party, to Trump. She was adhering to the text. She's a textualist. She adhered she was adhering to textualism. She was adhering to textualism. She was adhering to textual. She was adhering to textualism. Facts. How can you be hateful of somebody who's adhering to principle? It is possible, sadly. A lot of people are. It makes no sense. I get it, but it is goofy, bro. Yeah. Partialism is more laudable than principle in the eyes of the puppets, bro. Yeah, you get rewarded for partialism, bro. It is all the way backwards. Like, people's mentalities are all the way warped. A lot of MAGA people's mentalities are warped. It is nuts. It is sad, but it is the truth. Yeah, I get it though. There are logical arguments. There are logical arguments that people on the pro striking there are people who have logical and rational arguments pertaining to the striking down of the birthright citizenship. There are individuals who have rational arguments pertaining to the striking down of the birthright citizenship. Yeah. There are people there are parents who come from other. You got people. You got pregnant women who come from other countries who come to America just to birth the kids, then travel back to their homelands. There's no those people. The parents, they don't have allegiance to this country. They don't owe allegiance to this country. They owe allegiance to the country from which they came, they emanated. So I get why they don't want the babies to be seen as U.S. citizens just because they were born in the U.S. I see why they don't think being born in the U.S. is enough. Necessitates the label of U.S. citizen. But the baby is incapable of owing allegiance or having allegiance to a country. They can't serve in them. Allegiance is what people mean when they say allegiance is serving of your country or fighting for your country in the army or in the military. When or being legally obligated to go to war if a draft happens, if a war happens. A baby is not capable of serving in the army or the military or physically fighting for a country or a nation or anything like that. So yeah, baby is incapable of fighting for a country physically or fighting in the army or anything like that. So yeah, it is crazy to say the baby shouldn't be seen as a legal citizen, but it is understandable. Yeah. If a baby is born in the United States, he or she is entitled to protections by the government, by the U.S. government. If he or she is born in the U.S., no matter if he's the product of birth of parents who are birth tourists or not, he or she is still entitled to protections by the government. He or she is still entitled to be taken care of, to see justice if he or she gets violated by somebody in the U.S. If somebody commits a crime against this person, he or she is entitled to see justice, to see the violator, the criminal, gets brought to justice. So, but yeah, there are people who have I forgot to say allegiance is also you don't have loyalty to two different countries. You don't have dual loyalty. You don't serve two countries. You serve your own country. You don't serve another country before this country. You don't serve a foreign country before your home country. You serve your home country. You serve the country in which you serve your home country. So yeah, there are people who have dual loyalty. There are people who serve two different countries. There are people who serve foreign countries before the U.S. It is crazy. It does create a conflict. It causes people to see you as a traitor, to see you as perfidious, to see you as not loyal, to see you as sus. Why do you serve two different countries when you live here in the U.S.? Why do you serve another? Why do you have loyalty to a whole another country, a foreign country? You should only have loyalty to one country. Pick a country. There are people who have evil intentions who come from other countries. There are pregnant women who come from other countries who have evil intentions, who do want the people in this country to be destroyed, to be hurt, to be attacked, to be physically violated, to be taken away, to be eliminated. All of these things. You got male and female parents from other countries who want people in this country to be harmed, bro. They do have malicious intent. They do have they do have wicked intentions. So yeah, there has to be People have to be aware. People have to be alert. The people, the legal citizens, the upstanding legal citizens of America, they have to be aware. They have to be alert. They have to be vigilant. Yeah, there has to be a concern. There has to be real concern for sure. But yeah, not everybody from not all people from other countries have evil intentions. So there has to be logic and fairness and balance. But I do get what's the people who are disappointed. I do get what's the people who are disappointed. I really do get where the people who are disappointed are coming from, yes. But yeah, the people like ACB, they adhered to principle. Roberts, he adhered to principle. It is what it is. There's nothing that can be done to reverse it. You would have to make a whole another amendment. You would have to make an additional amendment if you want to change the rules, modernize the rules, cause the rules to match modern times. If you want the rules to match modern times, if you do want the rules to match modern times, you have to make an additional amendment. It is hard. It takes a long time too. It is very hard. It is very difficult. So yeah, good luck. But yeah, I do get where the people who oppose the decision ACB came to are coming from. I do get where the people who oppose the decision ACB and the other four justices came. I get where the people who oppose the decision ACB and the other 4 justices who came to the same decision are coming from. Yeah. But yeah, it is unfair to. There is validity to the people who say it is unfair to punish a baby, somebody who's incapable of fighting for a country or giving allegiance to a country, because of what the parents did. It wasn't the baby's fault, so you can't. It would be crazy to punish the baby, but I get the frustration of the people who wanted this thing to be struck down. I get where the people who wanted this to be struck down are coming from. I get what they are saying, but they have to be balanced. They have to be logical. They have to put logic above emotion. But many people won't because they're wild. It is what it is.